degrees out there.
Okay, let's start off. Anybody love? Anyone from
I am Robert Las Vegas, the secretary from the Hispanic radio station La Primera.
Yes.
And we listen nothing about the Hispanic people. You know, you are very attacked. So, why I would like to know, what do you think about it? And if you are going to help the community, how you can do it with this immigrant people.
Well, first let me say, in a town hall, I will answer questions that people ask me. Of course, I stand strongly in favor of comprehensive immigration reform. I just did an interview with Ludo and went into great detail about the importance of pursuing comprehensive immigration reform with a path to citizenship. Is what I have always supported and will continue to support, and do whatever I can as president to try to finally get it accomplished. And certainly from my perspective, what is being said by those running on the Republican side is incredibly offensive. And it is unrealistic. It is mean-spirited. I run out of adjectives. The idea that the United States of America would round up 11 or 12 million people and deport them is absolute fantasy. And we need to end that kind of talk because it is very hurtful to hardworking people who are here and their families, generations of them. The idea that we would amend our Constitution to do away with citizenship by birth, I think, is absolutely the wrong direction to go. So I will be speaking out on this over and over again because I want to make sure not just every Hispanic person, every American understands what the import of this rhetoric on the other side actually is, because it is inflammatory and something that every sensible American should reject.
Thank you.
Some call it flip-flopping, others evolution. The fact that there was opinion on the point of immigration reform, depending on children in the border, isn't the same now as it was before. So what exactly is your official stance? How can voters make sure you're not going to change your mind if you do get to elect?
Well, first of all, my position on comprehensive immigration reform hasn't changed one bit. I voted for, supported, sponsored, fought for, argued for comprehensive immigration reform and whatever other piece of it, like the Dreamers, that appeared before the Senate when I was in the Senate. That is a position that predates my being in the Senate, and I continue to hold the same position. Specifically with respect to children on the border, if you remember, we had an emergency, and it was very important to send a message to families in Central America. Do not let your children take this very dangerous journey, because a lot of children did not make it. They were robbed, they were raped, they were kidnapped, they were held for ransom by smugglers. So I think it was the responsible message that I, and many others, including the White House, was trying to say to families, do not let your children, your young children, do this. Now I think we have a different problem because the emergency is over. We need to be moving to try to get people out of these detention centers, particularly the women and children. I think we need more resources to process them, to listen to their stories, to find out if they have family in this country, if they have a legitimate reason for staying. So I would be putting a lot of resources into doing that. But my position has been and remains the same. No, they're not. They're very different issues. First of all, the Arctic drilling issue is not one that I have had any involvement involvement in it. I had no official involvement in it. I had no responsibility for it. I am expressing my personal view based on my review of the information that we have available. I think the very great difficulties that Shell encountered the last time they tried to do that should be a red flag for anybody. I have been to the Arctic. I have been to Barrow, our most northernmost outpost in the United States. And I think we should not risk the potential catastrophes that could come about from accidents in looking for more oil in a pristine, one of the few remaining pristine regions of the world. Rather, we should be focusing on clean, renewable energy and moving heaven and earth to provide the tax incentives, the financing, setting the goals as I'm doing in my climate and energy policy. And on the other issue, I've said repeatedly, I would really hope that there would be a decision, and I have been waiting for it because I do feel a sense of responsibility having been involved in the process early on. But I am getting impatient because I do feel like at some point a decision needs to be made, because I'm not comfortable saying, I have to keep my opinion to myself, given the fact that I was involved in it. So at some point I may change my view on that, but hopefully somebody will write this and somebody in the State Department or the White House will say, hey, we have to get that decision made.
Madam Secretary, welcome to Las Vegas.
Thank you, Jeff.
In light of all of the controversy surrounding the emails and the servers, do you regret setting up your email system the way you finally went and set it up?
Oh, I do now. I mean, in retrospect, what was supposed to be convenient has turned out to be anything but convenient. But I have to say, Jeff, that the position that I've taken from the very beginning is the same today as it was, months ago. And I've been thinking about the fact that, I get a lot of attention because I had a personal email account, as did other high-ranking officials in the State Department and elsewhere in the government. And I had not sent classified material nor received anything marked classified. If I had had a separate government account, so that I had a totally designated government account and a totally designated personal account, and I started running for president, and I said, I want the American people to see everything that was part of my time in the State Department, because I think it's educational and the same process. That's what I want Americans to understand. When something is released, whether it's a response to a Freedom of Information request, or in my case, where I said, there's 55,000 pages out there, please look them out. There is a process that has to be gone through. We want to make sure nobody's personal email is on there, and other personnel issues, those kinds of things. So we would be going through the same because other agencies get to make the same claims. Like, this may not have been an issue in 2009, but now it is. Or in 2011, this should have been handled differently than it was. It has nothing to do with the committee, and it has nothing to do with the fact that my account was personal. It's the process by which the government, and sometimes in disagreement between various agencies of the government, make decisions about what can and cannot be disclosed. So I'm very comfortable that this will eventually get resolved, and the American people will have plenty of time to figure it out. That's for the people investigating it to try to figure out. But we turned over everything that was work-related, every single thing. Personal stuff, we did not. I had no obligation to do so, and did not.
All right,
Thank
thanks
you.
everybody.